Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know that sound. This is There Is Another. My name is Lance, and this is just a mini episode, as you were. And this is just going to be me talking today, so you know this is going to be something else. I don't know. But anyway, There Is Another is on the air. My name is Lance Goolsby. If you don't know me, that's exactly what this episode is going to be about. My name is Lance Goolsby. Like I said many times now, obviously I cannot get my brain wrapped around the fact that my name is Lance Goolsby. But anyway, my name is Lance Goolsby. Let's try this again. I'm an ex-military guy. I live in Germany. A lot of people know me from other podcasts. I do run a metal detecting podcast as well called Global Detection Adventures. If you're into metal detecting and just walking around and swinging a device and looking for objects lost in the ground for tens and thousands of years, then check out Global Detection Adventure or GDA Radio Podcast. But that's not what this is. There Is Another. This is the geek side of me, and I am so happy to share it with you guys. Thank you for coming in. For me, Kevin, and James, you guys give us the reason to come back, and we love talking. We love talking about all kinds of things, Star Wars, and all kinds of things, Star Wars geek and DC, Marvel, and toys, and just having a blast. And that's kind of what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you, on this little mini episode, to make sure we get one out this week, I'm going to give you a little bit about myself. Like I said, I'm ex-military. I spent 15 years in the U.S. Army from 1989 to 2004. I got out after serving a year in Iraq and coming back, and from that experience, I'm still struggling with some mental problems, getting seen and having fun doing it, hopefully getting back into some sort of a normalcy in life. But things for me are going really good. Live in Germany. My wife is a German, and I met her when I was stationed over here in the military, and got to know her, got married, got our 2 kids, and then decided that once we got out of the military, we were going to move back. She has 9 brothers and sisters. Yes, 9 brothers and sisters. And I have 4, so it was better for her to stay closer to her family, because at the time I only had the 2 sisters. I was adopted, and since we've lived over here, I've gotten back in touch with my birth mother. So on her side, got 2 sisters as well. I'm the only boy of both families, so I got my 2 sisters on one side, 2 sisters on the other. Big love going out to Kathy, Karen, Marnie, and Jen. I don't know if you're listening to this, but you guys definitely have all my love. So yeah, ever since I got out, and I had a mental breakdown in 2012 when I realized that the PTSD from Iraq had really taken over my personality, my psyche, and I promise you, I'm not going to make this a downer of a podcast. This is going to be kind of upbeat. This is where it gets down, and then it's going to come back up. So yeah, from Iraq, I suffer PTSD from, I have one soldier who lost one of his legs, 2 of his legs, another soldier that has metal embedded throughout his body, another one who suffered injuries as well. So out of 4 people on my truck, I was the only one not affected by a rocket attack against our house. And oddly enough, the couch where the guy who lost both his legs that he was laying on, which got hit directly by the rocket, or the ricochet of the rocket, as it were, The couch where he was laying on, I was laying on prior to him, and I was laying in the opposite direction. So if I had still been laying there when it had happened, it would have been my head, which they would have had to remove instead of his legs. So in a way, thank you, Aaron. I hope that you're listening to this. It's taken me a long time to come to any kind of closure with this whole thing, and with therapy, I'm really working on it. I was really upset about a lot of things, and mostly was allowing you to be in a position that caused you to be extremely injured, and I took that to heart quite a bit. Now back to the lightheartedness. From 2012 on, from my mental breakdown, I realized that my life had changed, and it wasn't in a way that I wanted it to. So I made it a mission to actually go and get my old life back into the order that it was. Prior to me joining the military, even at points in the military, which is getting back to the geek side of me. I was 18 years old going into KB Toys and Toys R Us. Remember both of those? And buying G.I. Joes. Yes, at 18 years old. Even up to the month before I joined the military, I remember going and buying 3 or 4 new Joes that had come out. Pardon me, coffee morning. So, yeah, that was quite a thing. Then the military came, and, once you're in the military, you have to grow up. You have to be as, deadly of a person as you can be. And talking about Transformers was not the way to do this. And doing your C-3PO impersonations did not mix really well with the U.S. Army. Oh, good Lord. And so they did not tend to migrate to that very often. But in 2012, I was able to get back to my roots. I realized that I had turned into somebody I did not like anymore, and I wanted to get back to the way I was. So since 2012, I have made it my mission to collect all the toys that I had as a kid, plus all the brand new Star Wars and Batman and any other kind of toys that really catches my fancy. And now, if you ever see photos of the studio, which I'm currently sitting in, it is jam-packed full with toys and original movie posters. That's the other part of me as well. I have a collection of Star Wars posters. We're currently sitting at 6 original Star Wars posters, including one that is over 3.5 yards tall by about 2 yards wide for The Last Jedi. It is the one that they would hang on the walls inside the multiplex cinemas that is oversized so that you could see it from anywhere within the theater. And I have that. I don't have it hanging up because it's just too big. I have no place that I can put it in my house. So, yeah, that's the other thing. But, yeah, I am a person that over here in Germany, I try to rescue toys. And so I go to flea markets, and we don't have garage sales, but I go to flea markets and any kind of other place where somebody might be selling toys. They have toy sales and toy flea markets for children as well, which are mostly meant for babies, but they do tend to put out some toys as well on those, so I do go out to them. I'm a huge flea market fan. And I also go to Comic-Con quite a bit. And my purpose on going to these is going and looking at every single booth, digging through all the little bins and boxes that has toys in it, and pulling out anything that I might find that catches my fancy or is something that I know that can be rescued and should be loved, and it's just sitting, being tossed around inside a box. So that brings me to the way that I am right now, currently sitting in a room that's completely surrounded by toys, from the plush talking stormtrooper.
What do you think you're doing?
To a Batman figure or a bobblehead Catwoman, to paintings that I've made myself, to original artwork from an artist out of Denmark, or autographed comic books of Wonder Woman, or an original number 45 X-Men from 1960, I think 63 or 64. I can't remember exactly the year. So that's exactly what I love doing. So I am a toy collector. I am a geek. I cannot stop watching movies. I cannot stop watching TV shows. I'm constantly trying to watch everything that I possibly can. But living over in Germany makes it a little bit more difficult because I have to subscribe to iTunes. I am lucky enough to have my address in the United States still with my parents, so I am able to subscribe to the American iTunes. I can rent movies over there from the United States, get everything in English. Television is a little bit more difficult. I cannot subscribe to any of the apps such as CBS or Stars or anything, the CW. I can't subscribe to those because every time I do, I get the same message. We cannot stream outside the continental United States. And I'm just staring at these things cross-eyed. So I have to pay for every single episode that I watch, and I am not the richest person, which is why James and Kevin, they do Inside the Arrowverse each show, or every quarter. I believe we're currently doing it every 4 months or 3 months. They'll put out a new episode of Inside the Arrowverse, talking about all the things that are happening on Supergirl, Arrow, or the Flash, or the crossovers, or Smallville, or I think Batwoman is coming out. They're talking about all these things because I can't watch it all. But they do, and they love it. But I tend to not read a lot of news and stuff, so I come onto the show and I just create. I guess you could say that I don't create. I give them the dumb version because I'm not the smartest when it comes to this, this news and stuff. So I give them the actual reaction to the news and everything else. But my love is a collection and talking about these things. I love to talk. Obviously, you can hear that. And finding these things. Eventually, we're going to be breaking into the toy news on here as well. There is another network, is something that's about to take off. You guys heard it from me first. We have things in the chute to be coming out. Hopefully we'll be giving you news about this really soon. But I will be talking toys with Kevin quite a bit on the coming shows. And I will be creating a new podcast as well. It's not going to be a regular. It's just going to be covered under the TIA network. It's going to be called Holding Up, where I watch old movies that I loved growing up as a kid, like Clash of the Titans, The Last Starfighter, Dragon Slayer, you name it. All these old movies I loved growing up. I'm going to watch them again and see if they hold up, see if they still are as good today as they were back then. And the reason for this is my first granddaughter just showed up. My grandson is currently on the way. Will be here in March from my other son. And I want to share movies with both of my grandchildren. I've already made plans to bring them to German Comic-Con in 2 more years. I will be bringing baby Zoe, dressed as young Leia, up to Comic-Con with me when she's 3 years old. So I'll be walking around with her up there, and her grandma will be with me, and we'll be walking through there, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And then when our grandson shows up, and a couple years down the road, I might be bringing him along as well. So when they're 3 or 4, I'm taking them to Comic-Con and let them see the life that I live and hopefully pass it on for another generation. So, and then all these toys, they're going to be going to them and their parents as well. So that's why I want to make sure that I have the best collection that I can hand out. So even if they decide to sell them, they can hopefully make a couple bucks off of everything and help support them later on down the line. But that's me. Ladies and gentlemen, that is me. I am Lance Goolsby. You know a lot about me now. There is another, and I guess you know exactly where I come from. I'm not the most savvy person when it comes to all this news and information that's coming out in the world of toys and news and the stuff that's everything geek-verse, but you know exactly where I'm coming from, what my stand is. This is me. I am, first and foremost, a huge geek, video game player, toy collector, movie watcher, TV watcher, just a person that cannot get enough of just a love for everything that is geek. And so yeah, make sure you guys keep an eye out for the coming podcast, Holding Up, where I talk about movies that I loved growing up as a kid, and if it's something that you should share with your children and grandchildren. Does it hold up? All right, and we'll be bringing you regular shows again really soon. Kevin and I have been extremely busy these last couple weekends, just haven't had a chance to record an episode, but we got a lot of good shows lined up. Kevin has really been working his butt off getting these notes out and getting everything set up for the show. He is one of the greatest producers. I want to give Kevin, you know you rock. James, we're hoping to get you back on. You've been extremely busy as well. Let us know when you're ready to come on. We love you, brother, and I know you're busy with work and everything else. Get everything taken care of, and then come on back to the show. We're missing you, brother. We're missing you a lot. But that's it. This is the mini episode. My name is Lance. Make sure you tune in every week and listen to There Is Another. They are not this boring. They are not as bad, with just me talking. Kevin is a lot more engaging than I am. He's a much better host than I am. I just thought I'd give you the opportunity to listen to exactly who I am. All right. So I guess we'll just make like Harley Quinn and we'll just hammer it out. Let's get out of here, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And that's it from me. We'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye-bye. That's it for this episode